Well, Airbnb is officially done in New York. So if you haven't been in tune, they passed local law 18, which went into effect on Tuesday. Now, just to go over it really quick, I'm not going to lie to you. Some of this stuff really doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. This is their way of doing several things, which I'll go over in a second. So first, you have to be registered with with New York to have a short-term rental. So you can't even just put your stuff on Airbnb like you used to. You now have to have a registration, and Airbnb cannot post your listing without a registration from New York. That's number one. Number two, this has to be owner occupied, meaning you can only put up an Airbnb if you actually live in the place, and you have to be there when the guest is there. Okay. Third, the maximum is 2 people that can be in the Airbnb. Now, how they're going to know whether you're actually there when the guest is there, that's up in the air. I'm pretty sure people will finesse their way around that. According to the reports, there were around 20,000 Airbnbs in New York, but now only 4,000 have signed up. Okay. Now, several things here. I think this is their way of pushing more people out of the Airbnb space to get the places onto the rental market and possibly flood the rental market and get some of the prices, the rents to come down because there will be so many rentals. Okay. I think that's one thing. The other thing is the safety issues, right? So when it comes to condos where people are Airbnb or apartments, it's a safety issue. And, the people that want to make money off Airbnb don't really look at it this way, but I understand it. So on this floor right here, where this place is, this is where all the rich people are. If I put this on Airbnb, it puts everybody at risk. Here's why. People will have access to get on this floor. Like, not anybody in this complex can get on this floor. You have to actually live on this floor to get on this floor. So if I give that key fob to somebody that's renting, they can bring up 20, 30 people if they want. That's where the issue starts, right? So a lot of people don't know, of course, this stuff is swept under the rug, is when you have like condos, people were breaking in other people's units. You had people drunk, accidentally, knocking on the wrong doors. That puts people at risk, right? So just think about it. You have a unit next door to somebody that's Airbnb. You have one person that actually rented it, but they bring 20 people up here. Somebody breaks into your spot. Well, now it becomes a game of who did it, right? That's the danger of it. People were fighting and all this type of stuff. Now, this is in reference to condos. Single family homes, totally different. But that's one of the risks is, having a bunch of people, when you're really this close to your neighbors, this could pose a risk. They're cracking down on these hustles, right? And I said this a long time ago, and you've never heard me say I'm going to get an Airbnb. I mentioned that I would get one, but it will be an Airbnb that's out of reach for the average person. Like I said, for me, it would be Beach Town, Los Cabos, something like that. Not saying that other places don't make money or that some places aren't profitable, but anything that the average person can do, like these people that are just getting leases and then just putting it straight on Airbnb, anything that the average person can do or middleman, they're gonna crack down on. Wholesaling, right? Just give you an example. Most states are requiring that you either get licensed or they're outlawing it. Here in the state of Maryland, come October, you got to be licensed to be able to wholesale real estate. When you have these social media boosts of these hustles, and you have all of these people run into these hustles and try to do this and do that, the government starts to regulate it, whether it's state or federal. It happens every time, and that's the reason why I don't follow the crowd. I stick to the proven path of what works to make money. And I get it, people want to supplement their income and things like that, and that's fine. But with a lot of stuff, when some things sound too good to be true, it probably is. And we saw this tightening up also in like Turo. If you finance a car, and some of these institutions, they hire companies that search Turo to see if your car is on there, and if they find out your car is on there, then they repossess the vehicle, or they'll give you a warning, and if you don't take it off, then they'll repossess the car. Because if you actually read your contract, technically you're not allowed to rent the vehicles out unless you let them know, and there's an extra fee that you can pay to put your car on some of these platforms. So it's just one of those things where, like, if some of these cities, states, some of these companies aren't getting their money too, they start to heavily regulate it. And also some of this stuff does need to be regulated, because people will come in and they'll start bending the rules, breaking the rules, doing things they shouldn't be doing. You have bad actors. And, you know, once you have one bad apple, it pretty much, you know, ruins the whole thing for everybody. So that's what normally happens. But all in all, I see this coming to multiple cities, multiple states. All it takes is for one state or a couple states to set precedents, and the next thing you know, everybody else starts falling in line and adopting similar rules. It just is what it is, and that's just real.